Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm the smartphone guy coming back at you with another video, and today I want to go ahead and share with you my full review of the Amazfit Bip. Now, I've actually had this watch in hand now for about 4 months, so I'm going to call this my 4 month review. However, I've kind of been using it off and on. Now, before I get right into my review of the Amazfit Bip and talk about what all this thing has to offer, I just want to mention some of the other watches that Amazfit has out right now. So the Amazfit Pace was actually the first watch that they launched, and that was about a year and 3 months ago. It's about 15 months ago. This one launched, and when it launched, it was $170. You can see right now on GearBest.com, you can pick it up for $100. This is part of their Chinese New Year sale. And over here, I have the Amazfit Bip, which we're going to take a look at. Now, this actually just launched in the U.S. literally like a week or so ago. And if you get it directly from Amazfit, it's going to cost you $100. But you can see you can pick it up. The international version, you definitely want to pick up the international version, not the Chinese version of the watch. And that one's available for just under $60. And then the brand new one, which actually isn't even available in the US, but is available in China, is $190. Now, this one is going to be launching, I believe, in March or April in the US. Don't quote me on that exactly. This is the Amazfit Pace 2. Also, there is going to be another version with a little bit higher end straps called the Amazfit 2 Stratos, I believe is what that one's called. So anyways, a quick look at the prices. So I just want to kind of go over some of the differences real quick between the watches. So first thing to mention is that obviously this is kind of like the updated version of this watch here. So a couple of things that are major differences between the two. This one has IP67 waterproof rating. This one is ATM 50, so similar to like the Apple Watch 3. So this one you can literally go swimming with. It actually has a swimming feature built into it, whereas this one can go underwater, but it definitely isn't recommended to go swimming with. And the Amazfit Bip, you can actually go swimming with. It's IP68 water resistant. Now, another difference between these two, basically they have the same battery life. There's really not a whole lot of difference there, but I definitely think that the Amazfit Pace 2 has a little bit nicer of a build to it. So it has carbon fiber down here. We have 3 buttons versus the one button that's pretty recessed down there. That's really my only major complaint with this one. I actually really like the Amazfit Pace. Still one of my favorite watches to go running with. So by the way, all three of these have GPS. They're kind of designed for fitness minded people. So they all have sleep tracking. They all have GPS built right into it. So you can go without your phone and go for a run with these watches. Now, these two have 4 gigs of onboard storage, and about 2 of that is available for music. So you can actually run and listen to music and get your GPS at the same time with these two watches, where on the Amazfit Bip, you don't have that option. So just something to keep in mind. Now, one of the things that makes this one special and a little bit more expensive, and one that I'm really looking forward to when it does actually come to the US, is the fact that we do have these 3 buttons, and it allows you to navigate while you're actually underwater. So of course you can use this to track your laps. Now, I haven't done that yet because this is the Chinese version, so let me just kind of show you what that means. So when I go in here and kind of jump into some, whoops, gotta turn it on there. So you can see that all these are available. So my notifications are available in English. So that's great. But you can see the other things are still all in Chinese, which for me is not really something I can deal with at the moment. So I'm not ready to review that one, mainly because it's hard for me to actually explore all of the features. Now, it basically has the same software that you have on here, but obviously some added features because of the fact that it does have the water resistance, which means it has swimming as an option when you go into the activity tracking. Okay, so one other thing I want to mention that's a little bit different between these two is the kind of charging cradles. Actually, this one's backwards. So this is the charging cradle for the Amazfit Bip. And this one will last, they say, up to 45 days, whereas these two, they say, last about a week. All 3 of them have the same kind of screen. It's called a trans-reflective display, which means the brighter the light, actually the better you can see these. And they are also backlit, so of course you can see them at night as well. They all have a similar kind of charging mechanism. Basically, they just have these little pogo pins, and on the back of them, you can see that they have the pogo pins there. They all have heart rate sensors as well, so something else worth mentioning. So there is the one for the Amazfit Bip, and I actually like the Amazfit Pace the best because this one can be used with any micro USB charger, whereas these obviously are proprietary. You have to have them plugged in right there, and you have to use that exact cord. So it is what it is. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and set those off to the side. And now we're going to focus here on the Amazfit Bip for the remainder of this review. So I'm going to go ahead and go out of this. And real quick, let me just show you the app that the two use. So the Amazfit Bip, the one that we're looking at now, uses an app in here. So there's the Amazfit Watch, which is what these two use. So the Amazfit Pace and the Amazfit Pace2 use Amazfit Watch app. And then over here, the Amazfit Bip uses this Mi Fit app. So slightly different. Technically, actually, the Mi Fit app can be used for these as well. So at the moment, this one has 80% battery. That's 5 days of usage. That is actually getting all my notifications and things like that. So that's pretty awesome. Really good battery life. Now, will I get 45 days out of it? Definitely not. Probably for me because I'm using it for running. So I can just tell you that tonight I went on a 10K run, so 6.2 miles, and it went down 5%. So if you're using it with GPS a lot, you're definitely not going to get that 45 days, but you're still going to get really good battery life out of it. No question about that at all. So you can set some goals. You can set some weight goals. You can sync up with some friends. One nice thing is that this does work with Android, iOS. By the way, all three of them do that as well. But you can sync it right up with your health app. So if you don't have an Apple Watch and you want a cheaper version, but you want to keep track of your health, it does go right into the health app as well. So that's really great. And you can see there's some behavior tagging, things like that. So if you go into behavior tagging, it just allows you to add in some additional type of workouts that aren't available on the watch. All right, so let's go on to that. So there's a lot to do in the app, so I'm not going to quite cover everything, but if I click on here to the Amazfit Bip, you can see that we can set up alarms and things like that. We can actually go into the watch face settings. We can change the watch face in here. That's going to take a little while to load up, but we can get incoming call notifications. We can get event reminders, so I turn that off. We can turn on watch alarms. Now the watch alarms actually have to be set on the phone. You can't actually set them up on the watch, so a little bit of a negative. We can get, of course, app alerts, so you can see a lot of them are available here. So I've turned some of them on and off. I don't really like getting all my notifications to my watch. It gets kind of annoying, so just key ones I put on there. And then we got find watch. And then we can just set up a bunch of stuff on here. So heart rate detection, we can set it up how often we want it to check our heart rate. So I just have it automatically always checking it. And obviously at 80%, that's after 5 days of usage. That's really darn good in my opinion. We can set up our weather, so we can do weather push alerts and things like that. So lots of options in there. I'm going to back out of that and we're going to take a look at some activities. So this is a way to actually track your activity with the phone if you don't want to use the watch. So if you want to run with your phone and you don't want to use the GPS on the watch, you can also do that in here as well. And then over here on the status, we can actually see some of the things that we've done. So I'll click over here. And you can see, obviously, today I haven't done anything yet, but we can go back to yesterday. So this is actually, I just turned past midnight, so get rid of that. But you can see, go in here to distance, and you can see the workout that you did. So daily averages, things like that. So my worst day, that's actually not accurate because it doesn't include today. So I think, so 19,617 steps. That was kind of an excessive day because I went for a 10K run just a moment ago. So there's the actual activity, so we can click on that and it'll break down all of our information here. So there you go. So there's the run I went on, there's the map, and of course we can scroll down in here. We can get lots of other information about our run, so we can go into the details. You can see the pace, you can go to each mile. You can also, of course, check out your heart rate zones. So that obviously is not accurate. I was not running at my VO2 max for 30 minutes, so that is probably not right. So it's obviously got my VO2 max off because the heart rate is actually correct, but my VO2 max clearly you cannot run for 30 minutes at your VO2 max, so that's obviously not right. But yeah, so there's your pace, and then we can look at some charts as well. So lots of good information in here that tracks. It's very accurate. GPS is very accurate on here. Heart rate seems to be pretty good. I wouldn't say it's dead on because I said my average heart rate was 170. I think for a 10K, probably 170 is a little bit high. Probably more like 165, so I'm guessing it's overestimating by about 5 beats per minute. So it's not terrible, but not amazing either. So we can go in here to sleep data as well. So obviously I haven't slept yet tonight, but we can go in here and check out our sleep. And of course it tells us deep sleep, light sleep, and things like that as well. So all kinds of things you can do with the app. I'm not going to go into every single thing it can do, but there is certainly a plethora of things that is available in terms of your health metrics, especially for running and for bicycling. I don't do bicycling, so that's not on there, but obviously sleep tracking as well. So then when we go into the watch, it's really not a whole lot to it. So status is just going to show us where we're at as of today. So because it's just turned midnight, obviously I haven't done any steps or anything because I've been doing this review the whole time. So we'll go out of that, and then this is where we're going to do our activities. So we have outdoor running, we have treadmill. By the way, I'll mention this, treadmill is not very accurate. So if you're looking to get really accurate treadmill results, you're not going to get them on here. So cycling, it'll obviously track your heart rate, but the distance is not going to be on. So we have cycling, and then we also have walking, and then we can just look at our activity history and take a look at that. And then we have some activity settings that we can adjust in here as well. So we'll go ahead and scroll out of that. And then the next one, oops, scroll over. So there's weather, so I can check out the weather. Alarms, again, the alarms have to be set up on your phone, but it'll show you what alarms, and you can turn them on and off, but you have to actually set them up on your phone. We'll scroll out of that. And then we have a timer, so of course that's a timer. Again, actually the timer has to, I believe, be set up on your phone again. Okay, that's the stopwatch. Let's go out of that. So cancel. Whoops. Okay, so anyways, I don't really use the stopwatch, obviously, as you can tell. Let's see if I go in here to timer, if you can actually set that up on here. Oop. It won't go to timer. Okay, so it's not even going to let me go to timer, so I'm not really sure why. Yeah, it's not going to let me go, so I'm not really sure why it's doing that. And then the last thing that we have over here is compass and settings. So in settings, it's kind of limited here, so we can adjust our watch face. We can adjust what happens when we long press. So for me right now, I have it to long press is to start an activity, so you can see that right there. So we'll roll out of that. We can adjust the brightness, but I don't really see a reason to do that, simply because it is a trans-reflective display, so no matter what kind of light you have, actually the brighter the light, the easier it is to see. So I don't really see a need for that. Of course, you find your device, that'll actually ring to your phone as long as you're in Bluetooth range, so that's good. And then we obviously have factory reset, which we're not going to do. So that's about it. So this is a great watch if you're just looking for something simple. The GPS is dead on. Obviously, I forgot to show you, I should probably show you this too, is the notifications. So you can see here that we can go through our notifications here. So I've limited it to, like I mentioned, maybe like 3. Now we can't actually respond to any kind of notifications, whereas with the Amazfit Pace and the Amazfit Pace2, we do have a few more options in terms of responding, but there is no voice option in here, so there's no microphone, so you can't respond with your voice. So that's a little bit of a limitation, but they're really meant to be GPS activity watches, not necessarily smartwatches. All of them have notifications, but they're limited in what you can do with them. So anyways, a quick look at the Amazfit watches that are available right now, all on gearbest.com. Again, this one's available in the US, and this one is as well. The Amazfit Pace 2 is not quite yet available, but of course if you pick them up in the US, they're going to be a little bit more pricey. I believe this one's $160 and $100, whereas if you pick them up on GearBest, you got $60 and $100 right now. So anyways, thanks for watching. I hope this video has been helpful for you, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.